This episode of Next Level Truth expands on the information presented in the 5 volumes of the next tier of the Gospel. How we know the Creator is not omniscient. If the Creator was omniscient in the truest sense, if he was all-knowing, he would have known before he even began his work of creation that humanity would become self-centered. He would have known that death would become our fate. And he would have known that for many, despite the fact that deliverance is available to all, a life of suffering in a disharmonious world only to end in eternal death would be all they would ever know. This means that if the Creator was omniscient in the truest sense, then he willingly chose to sacrifice those he knew would be lost, so that those who he knew would accept deliverance could one day enjoy eternal life in a perfect world. This would be akin to parents who have a terminally ill child in need of several organ transplants, deciding to have a second child for the sole purpose of harvesting the needed organs despite knowing that the second child would have to suffer and die as a result. The Creator certainly does not require that the lost give up their organs in order for the saved to be delivered. However, only ever knowing a life of misery and suffering in a disharmonious world would have been a requirement the Creator would have had to have chosen to impose upon those who he knew would be lost, if he had known beforehand that humanity would fall. This would have made the lost a sacrifice. In the same way that no parent who truly loves their children equally and unselfishly could ever willingly choose to sacrifice one for the other, neither can our Creator, whose love for his children far exceeds that of human parents, make that choice. Yet that is exactly what tradition teaches he did. Even more disturbing is the realization that the Creator would have made this decision at a time when humanity was still just an idea in his mind, at a time when, if he had decided to not create humanity, no one would have had to suffer, and no human would even know to mourn being deprived of an existence, since humanity did not and would not exist. Furthermore, if it were possible to be aware that we were not created, we would agree with his decision to not create us, for that awareness would belong to something selfless, and nothing truly selfless would ever demand that another being suffer just so it could exist. In other words, the Creator would have chosen to sacrifice the lost even though he did not have to. As we can see, the traditional belief that the Creator is all-knowing conflicts with his selfless character. Unfortunately, religion either compels people to ignore this fact, or causes them to not even realize it. This, in turn, contributes to the tragic belief that the Creator is capable of such callousness. This is why it is so vitally important for us to have a personal relationship with our Creator that is unhindered by religion. Religion, and even a personal relationship with our Creator that is ultimately governed by religion, is like knowing someone only by second-hand knowledge. People could say things about that person that were false, and you would not know to disregard those assertions. However, if you knew the falsely accused on a personal level, you would know without a doubt that what was being said was untrue. When we have a personal relationship with our Creator that is unhindered by religion, we will come to know his truly loving, devoted, and selfless character. And we will understand that the Creator could never have created humanity if he knew beforehand that we would fall. Thus, our very existence is how we know that the Creator is not omniscient in the truest sense. The Creator did not know beforehand that humanity would become self-centered. He only knew that it was a possibility due to the high level of intelligence our first parents were to be given. And since humanity was to be created with a selfless nature, the risk of our fall was the lowest it could be, and therefore an acceptable one.